right now, I did want to talk about this, particularly if you were on social media over the weekend. I'm certain that you would have saw this. I personally was just, out and about on a Sunday evening and look on my phone, and all of a sudden, I see fighting. And you know what? I think that we as Americans in particular, I don't know what it is, but like we can usually find a level of laughter and enjoyment to be had with a fight, right? Now there are obviously, mitigating circumstances or some instances where it's like, this is clearly something that is another level. But I think a lot of times you see a fight, if we make sure that everybody was like not hurt, you know what a fight feels like? It feels kind of like someone falling, right? Like I feel like every time someone falls and nobody's hurt, it's funny. Am I right? Like, you understand what I mean? Like, I feel like that's how that goes. And not necessarily that every fight is funny, but I feel like a lot of people can find a way to like appreciate and enjoy it in some way. Especially like, hey man, I'm watching hockey right now. Them dudes still down in gloves. I don't know how many people start moralizing it about it particularly. It's just like, they fighting. At the very least, it draws attention, right? You see a fight. Hell, how many months ago was that we saw down in the pier in Montgomery?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, fight breaks out. And even though like there are all sorts of different, things happening within this, right? All sorts of different subtexts. It draws a level of attention and introspection and
before
breakdown.
The pandemic, people used to say, "World star."
That's right. Man, that might be 10 years ago. Man, that's crazy. Things are happening.
That's it, before the pandemic.
You're right. You are right. But yes, Cam Newton, and I could tell it's Cam Newton because he's wearing one of those hats, comes down my timeline, and he is not just fighting, but it appears that he is getting jumped. And that seems like an asinine thing to do, because if you know Cam Newton, that is not a normal-sized human being. That is not a normal human being, period.
He's about 6'5", 6'6".
6'5", 250 is what he's listed as.
Easily.
And as somebody who has been around like different players at times and such, you've been somewhat close to Cam Newton, have you not?
Oh yeah. I was at the Super Bowl when they lost to Denver.
And so when it comes to like 250 operates differently in different circumstances. Cam Newton is one of those guys that just feels like there's some dudes that you get around their presence is like, hey man, this feels different. Tyron Smith is one of those guys, right?
Yeah, because Cam Newton and Tyron Smith they're not fat. That is not 250 fat. That's not obese. There's no fatness on Cam Newton or Tyron Smith.
And that was what I was thinking about. What I saw that is a viral video of guys fighting Cam Newton. Now the circumstances of so we can understand this better. This scuffle happens at a 7-on-7 football game in Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the few places in the nation that maybe gets close to the environment that we have around, prep football.
Yeah.
We talk about somewhat high school, but particularly 7-on-7, man. Y'all know it.
Oh, yeah.
7-on-7 is something else entirely. Yeah. And so this was one of those, this is like a camp/tournament of 7-on-7. And in Atlanta in particular, you have these teams, and it's like AAU, right?
Yeah.
You have coaches that sometimes are athletes. Hello, Cam Newton. Sometimes are just, folks around.
Yep.
And so Cam Newton's team, which is the C1N team, as you might understand, C for Cam, 1 for his number, N for Newton, C1N, played against a team called
TSP.
Top Shelf Performance,
TSP.
Otherwise referred to as TSP, which apparently I didn't realize it's a wide receiver training facility, not a football player training, just wide receivers. I didn't realize that we had that down to this specific circumstance. But they played off against each other, and I believe that TSN had previously, Cam had coached with them before, so there was a level of familiarity.
Oh, lots of familiarity. In fact, Cam said, "I made you.
Yeah,
I'm y'all's daddy."
And so
that's what he said during the video.
Yeah, and we saw that during the video. And to go further, afterwards, the two gentlemen that were the coaches of that other team.
They're brothers. They're related to each other.
Yes, it is TJ and Steph Brown are their names. They said that Cam used to help out with the team.
Yep.
And they said that he started, talking trash off jump.
The day before.
Yeah.
And then it carried on until Sunday.
Carried on through the game.
He said they were saying Cam was telling them, what y'all bet? How much? Talking about betting on. He like, come on, Cam. We ain't got that kind of money. All you worried about is money.
Yeah, he said, hey, all that sorry bleep ain't going to work today. Are we betting today? What we betting, right? In order to get them to that place. Ultimately, Cam's team won the tournament, but TSP won the game, and it seems like when the jaw jacking after the game happened, this is where the video starts. And with the video, right? Again, I said a lot of people talked about this as Cam getting jumped. It looked like Cam initiated it with one of these dudes. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't have all the information.
This is what TJ said.
Okay, yes, sir.
TJ said Cam would look like he's trying to sling his brother down the stairs. So he said, you know what? I can't let him do that. So yeah, I hit him.
And then the video begins in which Cam Newton, again, every bit of 6'5", 250, maybe more, gets one of these dudes in a headlock and begins to what looks like just completely throw another human being smooth across. In fact, what ends up being, I believe, comical in part of this is that one of these dudes, I don't know which of them, had a video that was talking about Cam couldn't throw. And it looked like he threw one of them dudes. So, like, I don't know if you're out here talking about he can't throw, because it looks like he's throwing whole humans.
It looked WWE. It was WWE.
It really was. That is fair. He looked like he was wrestling with these guys, and then at which point someone else, this is when it looks brawl-like, and maybe people are just defending each other. Someone else jumps in with like a flying fist of fury. And I think really the thing that made, with a hat on. And mind you, it's a hat that looks like, if I had to describe it, it looked like it was like out of a like a spirit witch costume hat. With all due respect to Cam Newton, because I don't want any of those problems. But it stayed on his head the whole time.
It looked like something that you see in the Wizard of Oz, and it'd be flying. The witches be flying across the sky end.
And so Cam gets in this fight, and yes, 940. You were absolutely right. Cam's smiling the whole time.
The whole time.
Which, again, I mentioned this during Crosstalk. That is the unnerving part, because Cam Newton, this isn't the first time that Cam Newton has been in some level of like physical altercation or something that one might deem some level of like, I don't know, life-threatening or threatening to your body. I don't know if you remember when he was playing in Carolina, he had a time where his truck flipped. We have pictures of that where he is on the ground smiling.
Just smiling.
We have pictures of him fighting in training camp, as you know players do. But
he got nice teeth.
He's got people yoked up, and he's smiling. Fighting with Josh Norman.
Yep.
And he's smiling. And I'm like, clearly this is a dude that, I don't know, somewhat enjoys this level of like, back and forth with other human beings or circumstances. And Cam Newton, again, is 6'5", 250. Who are these people that want smoke with him?
The people who he said, I'm y'all daddy. I made y'all. I'm the reason for everything y'all got going on. They were mad because he was taunting them. And then he approached TJ's brother, and TJ said, I wasn't just going to let him grab my brother. He might throw him down these stairs. I swung him, So they all started. It was hilarious to me. It's just hilarious because that hat did not budge.
It didn't go anywhere. I don't know if he got like bobby pins in him or what, but it was just another like, I guess, chapter in the wildness that is Cam Newton. But you know what that got me thinking? Because again, Cam Newton, if I had to pick a dude I do not want to mess with, Cam Newton is up there. That is a dude that for his entire career as a quarterback had a line that was not all that good, and refs that didn't seem very willing to call anything about it.
Nope.
With that being the case, who is a athlete that you think of that you're like, I would absolutely not mess with that person, because I feel like
that was quick.
And Tyron seems like a very nice guy too, like one of the nicest.
Very quiet. You don't want to provoke him. And then Larry Allen's another one, another Dallas Cowboy. I mean, these are just a couple people you just. In fact, there was the late great Mark Tuinei. They used to say that's who you want. Have your back if you're walking down an alley. But again, 877-881-1053. Who is the one athlete you ain't even gonna go there?
Larry Allen was one that came up for me.
I mean, that dude was the strongest man in the NFL.
The scariest thing that I remember is just like you mentioned, he's strong, he's big. When I seen that man run and chase down a position player, a skill player, I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Humans aren't supposed to go that fast.
And he did it with a dip in his lip. Larry Allen would always have a dip in his lip during the game and just be grinning. I had that buzz. By the way.
People that are willing to do athletic activity with dips in their lips are not to be trusted. Not to be trusted is not to be messed with. You can trust them a lot.
Yeah, just don't mess with them. Don't even go there. By the way, TJ, the guy that punched that Cam Newton, why would you punch this man? He said, this is what he said, quote, if you're walking up a flight of stairs and you see a 6'5" guy grab your little brother trying to throw him down some stairs, you going to intervene. It doesn't matter who you are, whether it be a punch, whether it be a push, whether it be grabbing him, you going to do something.
I don't know.
At that point, with Cam putting his hands on another grown man, something going to come to that. And so he said something going to come up behind it, which would mean, in other words, he knew Cam.
Yes,
if
they
he
did.
didn't know Cam, in other words,
I'd have gotten right quick to my conflict resolution.
Cam. But he used to work with Cam.
Sure.
On the wide receiver.
And that
thing.
means I can find some common ground. Hey, Cam, let's talk.
By the way, no arrests were made. Everybody involved had to leave the event. Police broke it all up. It's funny when you think about it now. That's why I'm glad. And by the way, TJ said it should have never gotten to that. First off, on the organizer's part, we weren't even supposed to be playing Cam in that game. They were on the whole other side of the bracket. But no, they matched us up. We beat them. And then Cam started talking trash. So that's how it all started.
We've got a great list of people that are coming in.
Here we go, the names.
On the truckcrank.com text line, 877-881-1053. 214 said Calais Campbell's another one I would not mess with. Again,
leave him alone.
You know what that is starting to create a through line of? People that are the nicest, but also do not try them.
Never.
Calais Campbell sounds like he is a monster, but he's the nicest person. And when I say monster, I mean like imagine like a Pixar movie and the voice that he sounds like a monster, but he is the nicest human being. From the 817, James Harrison, absolutely. Anybody that's willing to hit their own like physical head with a helmet is not somebody that I'm good with that.
817, another 817. Ray Lewis. If Ray Lewis is coming, I'm running. For reals.
Oh yeah. 817, never messing with Iron Mike. That is correct. Because let me tell you, I don't know.
Mike Tyson.
Maybe a few months ago, or maybe last month, I saw a video of him like just training, like not training for anything, but just getting in the ring. And those punches look like they still hurt.
Hey, he has the best line to explain why you don't want to mess with him. He said, everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth.
That's right. That is his guiding philosophy.
That's his philosophy. So everybody got a plan till they get punched in the mouth.
Do not make him foil your plans. That's the way that we'll say that. From the 817, Warren Sapp, sure.
Sapp crazy too. Luke Keekley, that's from the 817. Andre Johnson, that's from the 469.
Andre Johnson is another gentle giant.
Yeah.
Gentle giant.
I literally will never forget his fight with, who was it, Cortland Finnegan?
It is Cortland Finnegan, which also makes me feel good, though, about Andre Johnson, which is like, you got to push him to a point. Now, he will get to that point, but he treaded lightly for a good long time with Cortland Finnegan until Cortland Finnegan had it up to here. And so Cortland Finnegan had to figure out what the rest was.
We got two Tolos texting in about Trent Williams. Long views on Trent Williams. Went to OU. You don't want to F around with Trent Williams, play for the 49ers.
Look strong. From the 817, Charles Haley.
Yeah, Charles, listen. Do not mess with Charles Haley.
Good answer.
With or without his meds.
Yep, good answer.
Lonzo Spellman the same. Lonzo Spellman, leave him alone.
Someone mentioned earlier the man that now goes by Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
Ron Artest.
You saw the rumble in the Detroit.
The Malice at the Palace.
Malice in the Palace. Yep.
Which I still maintain completely. He was completely okay. Like he was vindicated there. Y'all was wild.
Yeah, he's vindicated.
For the 214, Isaiah Stewart is now a new young man involved in this. Dude who was like, I'm going to play fullback so I can go and try and fight LeBron James of all people. Shout out to Swaggy Booties who puts a name in there that I'm not willing to say. For reasons because I do not want to mess with this man.
No, not at all.
He used to play football though. I think. I don't know.
You can say his son's name.
Not very
Draymond. Somebody had to throw out the Draymond. Yeah, Draymond. And
the problem with Draymond is I don't think that you have to mess with him. I think he might lash out.
Bill Romanowski, the former 49er, this dude used to spit on people in games.
Who was the dude that used to like? Dirty. Was it Romanowski that used to like break people's fingers when they got into the pile?
Maybe. All I know, he was dirty.
I feel like any middle linebacker that played before 85 is somebody that you didn't want to mess with.
817 is Antonio Brown. That man is cray.
Yeah. Don't want any of those issues.
Another 817 stay away from John Jones. Definitely. That man can know how to MMA.
Yeah. Don't want any of those problems.
Former Cowboy, the master Randy White. Yep.